You're supposed to catch this monster. You're supposed to catch it. Hi. What up, dudes? Oh, how's everybody doing? So I thought today, instead of waiting next Sunday, I would drop the Q&A open mic for August. As always, there is a fundraiser going on for my Q&As as once again, and please, if you can, it'd be great to generously give to the foundation that I am that is in part of the that part of this Q&A. It's Save the Animals. It's an organization that is about neglected animals and abusive animals, giving them good homes and things like that. I don't like seeing that. I hate seeing people hurt animals or neglect them. Animals need love too, right? Right, monster? That's right. Yeah. So anyway, guys, I'm here, and most importantly, I'm here to answer your questions, deliver the answers to you as always, my pack. So I just checked the my feed once again. The pack grew another 100. Congratulations to that. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. The pack continues to grow, and your alpha appreciates that. There's some things that's happening in my on my connection that is personal. I'm not going to get into it. I know there's been a couple of people that's been asking, like, how come some projects have been coming late, things like that. That's personal. Sorry, guys, that's between me. There's only a few people that do know, and that's all I'm going to tell. It's nothing bad, but it is taking up a lot of time and things like that. But we're here. Monster's here with me. He brought out the Oreos. What the hell? Anyway, guys, yeah, all joking aside, I am here, and we are getting like serious questions coming in already. But once again, guys, like I said, this Q&A is dedicated to is in part with a fundraiser. So please, it doesn't matter how much. If you can give, please give to the organization. I would appreciate that very much indeed. Now, with that being said, let's get some things right out the question right now. One question probably a lot of people are going to ask, have I seen Black Widow? The answer is no. I still have not seen it. So I have not seen that yet. If we're going to start going into He-Man questions, bring it. I don't care. I did watch the series. My overview is, I think I'm going to put it up tomorrow. It gets intense. It gets really intense, but not in the way that probably you may think it does, but in the way some people are acting about it. And that's my biggest problem with it. There's been a lot of news coming out of the woodwork. I don't know how much is real, how much is true, on different forms of the whole spectrum, different forms of different avenues, whether it's comics, movies. There's been some delays now with certain TV shows. Even in the world of professional wrestling, there's been a lot going on there. So, as always, this is open mic, guys. No question is off limits. Ask me what you want. I will do it to the best of my ability. You like that word? Yeah, you did. And I'll answer it. So I'm gonna kind of use my phone to look at what's going on with the questions live chats. So don't please, once again, guys, if you can, uh, let's save the Animals Foundation. Donate what you can. I'd appreciate it. As you all know, guys, I do every Q&A will have a fundraiser a part of it. So, and it goes to what I like and what I support. Uh, anyway, we got 8 people in there, right? Okay, there are 8 people in, and let's find out. So, who do we have in there? We have what members of the pack are here tonight? Marion, Tony, okay, Skull Glider Pictures, Skull Glider Pictures, okay. Hi. Andre, Caroline, Eliza, Travis, and JP Art. All right, so for the chats tonight, thank you, my pack. Your alpha. Thank you very much. Like my new shirt? Yeah. If it only if it was Daffy, I would like it more. I like Bugs, but if you want to, I'll give you a big. I give you a big. Whoops, there you go. If only it was. If only it was Daffy. That's over the back. Well, you can't see it in the back. There you go. I'm more of a, as you all know, I'm a more of a Daffy Duck fan. I like Bugs, but Daffy's my favorite of the Looney Tunes. That's funny. It's like Daffy is my favorite of Looney Tunes. One of the favorite of the original. One of my favorites of the original Disney cartoons is Donald. I like ducks. All right. I'm stop messing with y'all guys. All right, let's see what's going on. How's everything back home? Fine. Just busy. How's it going? I'm good. Did you know? Okay, let me see. Okay, Galactus Girl, did you know that the Russo brothers are working on Battle of the Planet films? Yeah, I heard. Yeah, they're working on that. Let's see where that goes. Even though they've done it already in its native Japan, which I always recommend people to go watch. Indeed. And what the hell is that noise? Stop disturbing me. Let's turn it off. All right. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of are. Like, it's. Let's see. What the hell? Okay, where's all the live stuff? Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. JPX Art, would you like to see a Marvel vs. Capcom 4? Yes and no. Because if you're not going to do it properly, Capcom, don't do it. If Marvel tells you, once again, Marvel has told them twice, you have the right, you can use any character. Well, what instead do? They use characters, the same characters who are either popular right now in pop culture and things like that. Nah, man. If I'm Capcom and they said we got the keys to any character, you bam right on. I'm using every character. That roster is gonna be huge. That's the problem. The roster got smaller over the if I did a 4, that roster would be huge. That roster would be extramentally huge. Probably have probably have over 200 characters in there. Like 100 Capcom, 100 Marvel, with with an additional. Technically, the whole game would probably have over 250 characters. I'm just saying, that's me. It'd be a fun game. I didn't mind the storytelling, but you got to come with a better story. Fan casting payoff. Zola is probably, yeah. I don't want to talk too much about the casting of the rumored casting, or it's not really it's not really certified yet. But yeah, Cobra Kai alumni. I don't want to butcher his name. Zolo. I hope I'm saying it right. Is maybe playing Jaime Reyes in the Blue Beetle movie. If it is, comic gods, please let that happen, because it will work. The reason why I say I'm not going to talk too much about it, because I actually had plans of talking about that on Geek Thought News, so that's why. But my opinion so far is cool. I got. What did you think about the Loki series? It was all right. Go watch my review, Andre. Go watch my review. You want to know what I thought about the Loki? Watch my Loki review. There you go. Hey, then you get your answer. There you go. It's up there. It's got over 900 views. Thank you very much to all the pack members that got it up there. Thank you very much. But as you all know, views is cool, but I like input. So there you go. Go watch it. I'm not gonna tell you. Go watch it. Marion, what are your thoughts about the release of Bray Wyatt? I knew this was coming up. Sucks, because I'm getting tired of the same old excuses that WWE is pulling, this budget cut nonsense. If it's true, he was supposed to be coming back, and yeah, you let this creative god go. Like, I mean, alone, his creativity alone would have kept me. If I'm running WWE, it would have kept. I would have. No, we're not letting him go. Um, it does suck, it's like this whole budget cut nonsense is getting on my nerves. If that's the excuse that they're going to continue to use, then they got problems, more problems than ever. A lot of wrestling journals are saying it's the wrath of Khan, Nick Khan, who was the president. I don't know, but yeah, it's sad. And it also makes, like Solomon said, nobody is off limits. Sucks is he had that gimmick, and now pretty much who's running with the gimmick now? And I don't blame her, but the gimmick was his, and now Alexa Bliss is running kind of with it. So, didn't bother me watching mess. Okay, Travis, when were you born, Travis? There's the question right there. When were you born? So you wouldn't, yeah, it may not bother because you were. When were you born? There you go. That's my question. When were you born? Because you're saying that it didn't bother you. Sometimes, of course, things that go. Because yeah, you a '90s baby, then yeah, E-Man wasn't around in the '90s. Well, technically, so yeah, of course it won't bother you. What do you think about the casting of the Batgirl movie? I'm not too much upon it. Not really. Another great redhead comic character casted, and she ain't redhead. And the race changing of Barbara Gordon is not needed. But once again, this is Warner Brothers, and they have this clause called the inclusion clause or something like that, and it's like it's weird. It's just like it's a clause. It's some weird clause that been written in not too long ago that has come about. But bottom line is like, look, I had this conversation on Twitter, and people were saying, you know, I was actually talking with Gail Simone. I was talking with my friend Gail. So and for those who don't know, uh, Batgirl is her favorite comic character in comics, and her run on Batgirl is just up there. Never read Gail Simone's Batgirl run. I recommend it. And I was telling her, I'm like, I don't know, Gail, I just don't feel this. It's just like, it's like, why couldn't they get a redheaded actress? And then there's people that are like, die. And I'm like, yeah, but you cannot tell. They can't. It's not about just they could dye the hair. What bothers me is like, what other actresses were they looking at for this role? You can't tell me there wasn't no other actress that was like, okay, well, what made her Miss Grace stand out? I think that's a Lindsay Grace. I think that stand out as Barbara. And for me, it's just there are some redheaded actresses, and if you say Emma Stone, she's not natural red. She's not a natural redhead. Um, you say, hell, even even Scarlett, she ain't a natural redhead. It's like, but there are redheads. But this is next character, the next redheaded character now, not casted. And we got who the late before her. They casted Red Sonja. The actress who's going to play her is the actress who played the Ghost is going to play her. Mary Jane, Kirsten Dunst ain't redhead, but Jean Grey, all the Jean Greys, they not naturally redheaded. Sophie Turner is not a natural redhead. She looked good as a redhead, but no, she's not. Even Famke Janssen is not a redhead. So it's like, is being redheaded rare, or is it just they just feel like, oh well, the character's redheaded, but we can fix that, no problem. I don't know. I'm not. I hope I wish her the best, but I'm not really feeling it. Skipping that, and then moving over too much of that. All right. Okay, we getting versus battle. Oh, these are weird versus battles. Lockjaw, Crypto. Well, what is Crypto? He's a Kryptonian dog. Think about it. Lockjaw could do one thing: teleport. Think about that. So you got to think about that. Do I think the Winter Guard could happen in MCU? Anything is possible with the MCU. That's the problem. That's not the problem. That's anything could be possible. Um, we already got Red Guardian. We're missing Dark Star, missing Ursa Major, and I heard that he's supposed to be in Black Widow, which I haven't seen, but I doubt it. It's probably just like a name drop or something. But if that's the case, Ursa Major is a mutant. Uh, we don't have a Crimson. There need to be a new Crimson Dynamo, because then if you start doing that, then we can get the problem. The thing I want is multiple teams now in this new era of the MCU. Like Not just the Avengers. Not no. Let's get multiple teams. Uh, what are your thoughts on Emperor Belos from the Our House? Uh, I have not caught up. Are you talking about? I have not watched season 2 yet. I haven't watched it yet. So, but when I did see him in in the first season, I was like, okay, this guy looks interesting. Sick and preach. Um, I'm skipping that. Too much. Too much trolls now. Skipping. Okay, since Emily Blunt does not seem okay. First, I don't buy anything she says. I am not buying anything Emily Blunt says. These actors do that stuff all the time. Not, I'm not buying it. Not buying it at all. Nope. Sorry. I mean, Samara Weaving, but I ain't buying that at all. Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. She says that, but yeah. All right, let's see. I think that Marvel versus Capcom needs to expand their roster like Super Smash Bros. Yeah, they had the biggest roster they had was two. Two still has the biggest roster, 65 characters, and then it just shrunk the next games when Marvel told these people, told you have the run of all our library. And instead of going there, you bring, like I said, characters that have gotten a big buzz of pop culture now. You know, and I don't blame them, but still, it's like you can have so much fun with that. Do you know that Silver Surfer was supposed to be in one of the games? You know why they didn't put him in it? 56. Yeah, thank you. You know why they didn't put Silver Surfer in the game? Because Capcom said he looked too much like Iceman. How do you get Iceman and Surfer mixed up? Huh? Explain to me that. Who's your favorite character from the Owl House? Ida. Um, so anyway, I don't give two craps about that movie. There you go. I watched the trailer and it did nothing for me. Again, I'm not all I don't care about all that comedy in it. I don't care. Sony paid Woody Harrelson a lot of money to be Cletus Cassidy, and they good luck getting your money back for that one. To me, there was several other actors who could have played Cletus Cassidy, and Woody Harrelson was not one of them. And they showed Shriek in there, and I'm like, okay, but I no. Let's see. I have a terrible feeling that they are going to do us another Mandarin trick with uh, Spider-Man No Way Home with Tobey Maguire rumored to be and everything. No, I don't. Especially the fact that that movie's coming out with the whole expansion and the multiverse. They're putting it out there. Top 10 MCs of hip hop of all time. I've done this question before, and that's a hard one. Again, I'm not really going to go into that. Uh, I'm not that big on today's rappers. I really don't like them too much. Outside of Kendrick, J. Cole, and people like that, I don't really care for everybody else. I'll stick old school as I always do. There's a lot of characters that Marvel did not use or get buried. Uh, Cholo, there you go, Cholo. Do you have a favorite basketball player in the current NBA? Not really. Not really. Now I just really watch it now, just when I can, when I do. What I will tell you is I don't like super teams, and that's what the NBA now is becoming, the land of super teams, and I'm not for that. To me, when I was watching the NBA, every team had the star player, they're great supporting players, but it wasn't no super teams. Like everybody was able to build themselves up to, like, if you start as for example, okay, let me put it like this. See how in Naruto, a chunin, and then you move up the ranks of a ninja. That's how it was to me. I watch NBA, but I don't have a favorite player. And no, it's not LeBron. I respect LeBron, but I don't have a favorite player. Thoughts on the Space Jam 2? Planning to see it this? I ain't watching it. I didn't think it needed one. A movie that did not need a sequel. Space Jam. Didn't need it. What do you think about the upcoming Velma animated series on HBO Max? They trying to, Mindy is giving her a series. First, they made her Asian now. I think she's Asian, but she has no connection with the gang. And I'm just like, that's not Velma. Like, it's like you're. What is it? So, kinda, yeah. But then it's like then if you do that, that's not Velma Dinkley. And it's not even an alternate version of her. This is just you're using the name to sell and the likeness. And I don't think she's gonna look like that's not Velma. That's not. It's like what? Don't change nothing. Don't fix something that ain't broke. If you wanted to give Velma a series that focused on her, then you should have just kept it Velma. Have you watched this Last Dance document? Of course I have. It's great. Your thoughts on Kevin Smith, Master of the Universe? I didn't hate it like everybody else wants to join in that bandwagon about it. And I'm not going to go too deep into it. But I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't hate it. Who asked that question? Johnson Day Pool. Okay. I didn't hate it. I actually enjoyed it. I grew up with He-Man. I'm an 80s brat. I grew up with that show. Okay. Yes, it was a shocker to see He-Man sacrifice himself. And I'm sorry if I'm spoiling some stuff. It was a shocker. But when I'm hearing people say pissed off about that, because He-Man died, it's like I'm looking at that like, hey, I'm trying not to curse. Mother bludgers. What's a hero? He's the hero. If that meant he had to sacrifice, go ahead. Oh, I hated how Tila acted in it. Let me ask you something. Somebody you grew up with as a child that didn't trust you enough to tell you a secret. Why? Then that also then DC also put out a comic series called Master of the Universe, and then when He-Man Master of the Universe, the Eternity Wars. In that comic book, Skeletor was dead. He was dead. Orko was dead. When Orko died, I'm sorry. When Orko died, that actually made me cry because I was like, I loved Orko as a kid, and to see him get that push that he did fighting Scareglow, and other than that, all the characters that like I was propping Kevin Smith, and he's the showrunner, but props to using characters that were only made toys but never made it into the on the show, and then of course them thinking Teela's gay, and I'm like, where's this coming from? Where's this coming from? The only thing I didn't like about the series mostly was the pacing. It moved too fast. It felt like nobody had a chance to really grieve over the loss of this. Also, Eternia, how it's going through this phase now. Everybody, and the cult that built that trap jaw and Triclops and all of them was a part of. It's like you didn't really have time. Everything it moved so quick. It was just like, okay, that was my biggest issue, but I did not hate it. And for anybody out there that's saying, "Oh, the artwork was terrible," I said this in my review. You wildin'. That artwork was beautiful. The animation was beautiful. It's the same people that did the Castlevania series. It was beautiful. And the voice acting, oh my God, the voice acting was great. Lena Headey was great as Evil Lynn. I was like, yeah, she was made to play it. If they did a new live, I know they're still working on new live action, but if they wanted to do a new get her to be Evil Lynn, I'll buy that for $1. I don't know why I said that, but that just popped in my head. Okay, what are your thoughts on the reaction what was your reaction when John Marston died at the end of Red? I felt like it was built into him to die. It did suck to see John die, but it kind of sometimes you can see when you're playing through or watching a story with a character who's always almost had death always knocking on its door. You can always kind of sense like, okay, this character may die. And to see him die at the end, it sucked, because he was betrayed. He did all this work, and the law turns on him. But I will say this: to see Jack, his son, get payback for dad, I was like, yeah, that was great. I thought that was good. Looked just like his dad too. Thank you, Will Miser, for the donation. I appreciate that. People complain when it is a black person playing a redhead, but nobody talks about Matt Murdock, Scott Lang. Yes, they are redheads too. It wasn't that either, and that not too many people. I don't hear that many complaints, but yeah, Matt, his hair is. They always describe it as it's reddish brown. Now, the movie, Ben Affleck kind of did dye his hair, but then of course there's Charlie Cox, who he just went brown hair. The comic-wise, in comics, Matt's still a redhead. Scott Lang, he's another redhead. But here's the thing about it. Sometimes you get away from the it's the performance, and that's and the performance is there, but also here's the difference between those characters and characters like Red Sonja and Barbara. Those are definitely qualities and attributes about them that is always noticed. With Daredevil and Scott Lang and people like that, nobody's really talking about that too much.
this whole thing about redheads being cast aside. Okay, well, which redhead actor should be playing Red Sonja?
That's the problem.
But okay, but that's a problem within a problem. If the whole idea is, oh, you guys not casting redhead, but you don't got anybody in mind for yourself to say why you didn't cast them? They're redhead. It's like so you're bringing up a problem, but you don't even have a solution. It's just you
that
cast a redhead, but you don't have a redhead in mind, do you?
the one redhead I had in mind. Wait, see now I don't know if she's naturally redhead now. Oh geez, what was her name? Oh geez, what was her name? Boy, I forgot her name now. She was on a sci-fi show too.
Wouldn't Red Sonja's hair be something that would be dyed? She's got like
even Mary Jane has fiery red hair.
Yeah, so that's not even a natural. Babs is more of a natural.
Babs has more of a natural red, but they got a whole her whole race has changed.
Yeah, the whole thing. Babs, Red Sonja, red. Wait a minute, I don't recall this being a complaint from Family Jensen and Jean Grey. It was just okay.
That we heard of. I mean, I'm speaking for myself. Like even speaking for myself, I felt yeah, it's cool, but it was a case like okay, and even when Sophie Turner came on as Jean, I was like, is she really redhead? And then when she's naturally a blonde, it was like, but she looked good as a redhead. I thought she was. I don't watch Game of Thrones, so when I saw her, I'm like, okay, that's nice. And then you got Kirsten Dunst, who goes from the real color of Mary Jane, and then she went to a cherry blonde.
Not blonde. I mean, not redhead.
No.
And seeing the thing with Kirsten Dunst was more of the formula material, but that'd be like, well, whoever plays Luke Cage, they have to be bald. Meaning they have to start like, wait a minute. So wait, they just can't shave that. No, they have to start off. That's just weird. Like they have to be bald.
So what are your thoughts on Eternal? Do you think you'll like them in the comics? If so, why? I've always had respect for any character that Jack Kirby has created. There's going to be a lot of people that don't know the Eternals, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. But it also could fall on the good end of it because one, this falls back into the route of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Unless you were a comic reader, nobody knew who they were, and more importantly, they didn't even use the real Guardians, the Guardians of the Galaxy. They used the later version of them. If they had stuck, I've always said this, if they did Guardians of the Galaxy, the real Guardians of the Galaxy, the original team, this would have been a future forward movie because the original Guardians are from the future, where this alien race called the Badoon basically has taken over. We saw the original core members in the second one. So although those characters that that the character that Stallone played, Ving Rhames, he was that big giant guy. That was Charlie 27. You saw Matrix, Skyhawk, who my girl oh Jesus, how am I forgetting her name? Oh my God. Oh my God. How am I forgetting her name? I'm blanking out on names right now. I'm really blanking out on names. Michelle Yeoh. There we go. Yeah. She played a version of because that character, her gender changes at times. Yeah, those are the original Guardians. They used the later model of them that Dan Abbott and Andy Lannon brought in, Star Lord, and then even when they brought Star Lord, like if Chris Pratt didn't play the character version that he played, if he played Star Lord the way Star Lord is really, it would have been a totally different movie. Star Lord, the real Star Lord, prior to Chris Pratt, he was a badass. He was basically like a space age, I won't say Punisher, but similar like Judge Dredd and all that. He was a badass. And then and then you could see once the original movie did so well, look in the comics and you see the transition from that Star Lord to the Star Lord now. Now he's kind of on the comedic side now because of that. Don't tell me, don't say they don't. The comics don't are influenced by the movies because now they're really starting to get that way. You're starting to see a lot of influence, which is kind of funny because it should be the other way around. Um, moving on. Oh damn. All right. Uh, what was that? Oh, Will Miser, have I read Emily Clark's Mother of Madness comic? If so, you thought I have not read it yet. I want to read it. I want to read her comic. Um, have you watched the Resident Evil Infinite Darkness on the? I've watched 2 episodes. It's kind of slow for a Resident Evil. I was like, this is kind of slow. It was all right. Don't get me wrong. I gotta finish watching that. What do you think of the Y2Day versus Y2Day Y2J versus Nick Gage match? I believe it or not, haven't watched it. Um, I heard it was brutal, uh, and I'm not a big follower of Nick Gage, so I had to kind of ask people like, who is this guy? Like, and no, there you go. Sorry. Uh, did I read the Secret Empire event? I read it. It was all right. It was all right. It was better than a lot of the past story arcs that Marvel had put out, but it was okay. I didn't like the whole evil Captain America nonsense. They didn't have to do that. Is there a boxer that could potentially stand against Ali? Yeah, I mean, Ali wasn't unbeatable. Did lose. He did lose matches. So yeah, should be the first mutant we see in the MCU. I would if we were going by age, by just ain't how old they are. It should be Celine. She's the oldest, one of the oldest mutants. She's older. She's older than Apocalypse. She's older, and I know they classify Namor as a mutant. I don't. I really don't. I'm like, no, no. I don't know. I just don't classify him as that. I know they say, oh, he's the first mutant. No, he's not. He's not. You go do your Google it. Who are the oldest mutants in Marvel? Yeah, he's. I never understand that. Because he's half human, half Atlantean. So and they say that about him. They say that about his cousins named Namora and named Marita, and I'm like, how, how are they mutants then? They, they're hybrids, like not mutants. I never get that. I never understand why they did that. Marvel.
they trying to classify Peter, they were towing the line.
Yeah, that was like Marvel used to always say, like if you go look at some of the old Spider-Man comics, they'd always say, "Is he a mutant or?" And I'm like, why? Yeah, he got bit. He's a human mutate. He got bit by a radioactive spider. He wasn't born with those powers. Like, why would you write that? That made no sense. Uh, both Marvel Civil War sucked. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Just one thing to say that, man. The Russo brothers, their depiction of the Civil War was
Yeah, I'll give Russo brothers give Russo brother credit. They were able to take that story and make it their own and make it better than what it was written. What are your thoughts on Michael B. Jordan making the Static movie? I'm all for it. Um, there's only one actor I better hear being casted as Virgil Hawkins. I'm not even joking. And that actor is Caleb McLellan, who from Stranger Things. I saw him. That's all I want to hear. That's my top pick for Virgil. That's it. That's all I want to hear. I don't want to hear nobody else. I'm dead serious about that. Where are we at? Okay. Since Kang is played a black actor, since he is a descendant of Reid Rich. You mean he's a kind of a descendant or descendant of Reed Richards? Do you think Reed should be played by a black actor? No, because once again, here's the thing about that. There are currently in the world now, there are black people who are descendant of Thomas Jefferson, a white man. There are descendants all over Asia of Genghis Khan. You see where I'm coming from with that? No, he shouldn't be. He doesn't have to be. And once again, Kang is he. Yes, that's exactly where I was going. Kang is not who you think. Like you think one Kang, and then there's Immortus. There's all these different versions of him. He's not just one race or things like that. That's why that so-called Kang that we saw in Loki, I'm like, that's just one version of him. That's just one version of him. It's not even him. Like, does that mean if they do Iron Lad, then okay, yeah, maybe, but he is. If Kang is from the future, he is a descendant of Reed, and that doesn't mean that because he's black, Reed should be black. Because that's right out the case right there. There are, like I said before, no, and I'm dead serious about that. Thomas Jefferson. There are descendants of him living in the modern world now, and some of them are black. And why? You want to know why? Because this fool used to have sex with his slaves, or I shouldn't even say sex. He raped them. I'm not. You know, we're gonna move on from that. All right. Do you think the MCU has ruined the Hulk? Nerfed him, yes. Ruined him, no. Um, there's still time to redeem him. There's still time. To me, but they have nerfed him, and he's not the only character that the MCU has nerfed. You know, I don't need to go into. Yeah, I'm not even gonna go into all details, but yes, he is. If you Hulk is one of the strongest characters in Marvel. He's not. He's not even. He's not maybe but he's one of them. And it's a shame that they go from, I guess you can kind of say, Savage Hulk to somewhat Brain Hulk, but then you really go Professor Hulk, who is his weakest form. That is his weakest form. Professor Hulk is his weakest form. That's why if you read the comics, you saw when he would fight or doing it, he was using guns and weaponry and stuff because he was. That's his weakest form. His strongest form is World Breaker. That's who I want to see. I want.
I could argue, I mean, gotta argue is the most technically sound version too.
Yeah, World Breaker Hulk is everything you want in a Hulk. He's a tactical genius. He's this, is this, is that. The guy, you can understand why he was able to do what he did in World War Hulk. That we were going to see that version go a couple of rounds with Thanos because in my opinion, look, as good as Endgame was, it got convoluted. The writers and Russo brothers didn't take into account. It almost like they just was like, screw everything else. It goes back to Drax. What did Drax say? Thanos is who I need to kill. We didn't get any of that. He didn't even get close to Thanos. He didn't even get close to him. We saw him poking Supergiant looking like a fool. I'm sorry, like MCU Drax, I love the guy who playing him, Dave Bautista, followed his wrestling career. Good dude. Respect. But that's not Drax. That is not Drax. Nerfed. Thor. Nerfed from the start. Hulk is another one. Where's the redemption for Hulk? Well, yes, She-Hulk, his next kin, definitely. If they make Jen the way she's supposed to be made, like, yes, she's strong, but she's still got a reserve, like she keeps that anger in check. Because if Jen start getting angry, yeah, she start getting to that level of Hulk that we all know. I'll never forget when she found out that it was Tony and them that sent her cousin out into space before World Hulk happened. She punched. They were in. I think if I remember correctly, Tony was in Midtown, New York, in the heart of Manhattan. She hit him so hard he flew all the way to Jersey. I was like, Jesus Christ. Now she is at the upper echelons of her gamma power now on the Avengers. So yeah, and yeah, what happened when she got? I just feel like Hulk's not dead. He's not. They didn't ruin him. I won't say they ruined him because one. It also goes to because of Universal. You can't always just blame Universal. Still fucking with them. Like I thought. I just cursed, didn't I? Yep. I thought if these studios didn't use these characters, the rights go back to Marvel. That's what I thought for the Hulk. But it's him, Namor, still trapped in some kind of jail with Universal. Universal, just give the goddamn rights back to them. You mother flubbers. Give it back to them. Let's see. Have you watched the movie Soul? If not, I haven't watched that yet. There was the Daphne and Velma movie from a few years ago, though. Is that live action one? I ain't know shit. Did you watch Netflix series Trees? I don't know what that is. Do you think the Young Avengers should be brought up in the MCU by Phase 5 or 6? Yes, they're coming. It's not even a case if they're coming, it's when. We got all of them, pretty much. What anime characters would Vegeta get along with? It's not that Vegeta's a dick. I mean, he can get along with people. Yeah, he just got a hard shell. Once you get past that That Shell, he's cool. He's all right. Just don't bother him too much. There's a couple of characters. I mean, I definitely can see him getting along with a lot of other.
Now you kind of more than actresses.
Yeah. Geez, there's so many. Like I see him getting along with people from Naruto. I can see some from Bleach.
I think you get along with Shoshone.
Yeah, Shishomo. Yeah, he would. People think Kevin Smith lied to fans, but to me, he was more like trying to pres- pre- to pre- he was more trying to prevent the show from being spoiled. What do you think? Um, I guess because yeah, there was spoilers already coming out. Like, and that's my problem sometimes with these. It's like, how are these people getting? And the reason they get is because they get access quick or something like that. I don't like. They didn't lie. He didn't. He said. I remember Kevin Smith doing an interview and he talked about this is not just going to be a He-Man centered series. He made that perfectly clear. He did. Um, Frank Langella was a great Skeletor. Yeah, he was. He was probably the best thing about that movie. Would love to see a Devil May Cry's anime series in the same animated style as Castlevania. Uh, the Devil May Cry anime that came out a couple of years ago was great. Watch that. There is rumors of some kind, I guess, some kind of crossover or something like that. I don't know what it is, but I'm all for it. What are your thoughts on Dwayne the Rock Johnson as Black Adam? We've been saying that for years for him to play that. There's a fan casting. There's a fan casting right there that many of us have been saying. There's your Black Adam, right there. Seen that since the early 2000s, mid 2000s. Fan casting at its best. Are you planning to do a review on Wonder Woman 84? No, not really. Are you looking forward to Halloween Kills and the new Candyman movie? Yes, I am. It's a good looking forward. I still want to see Antlers, the movie that's based about the Wendigo, and when that's coming out, we were gonna get a good Wendigo movie. You know how many times they've done Wendigo movies? There's like 12 to 13 movies about the Wendigo, and they all suck because they convoluted. The best interpretation of the Wendigo as of late is Until Dawn, and that wasn't even supposed. That was a shocker when they brought that in, but it stayed true to the Native American legend of it, and I loved it. And I want to see another game like that because the last couple of games that the people who did Until Dawn made, they haven't lived up to what we want. We thought these were going to be horror anthology games. They've now just been like mind tricks, like the last one, Dawn of Madon, Metal, whatever the hell it's called. I thought it was going to be, oh, you're going to be on a ghost ship, real ghosts. Now some gas messing with your. And the last one, I thought, oh, we're going to deal with a witch. Oh, but this new one that's coming up, this is a real monster coming at you. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Get back to basics with that stuff. Um, Venom gets a sequel, but Man of Steel doesn't. The madness isn't that right. I okay. Without seeing the Snyder cut, have you seen pictures of Darkseid? What do you think? I've seen it. I've seen pictures of it. I still, it's like, oh, okay. I've seen pictures of Darkseid. I've seen the pictures of of Wolf. You know his And I still didn't care. I was like, okay. Travis, what are your thoughts on lost, lost judgment? Is that, you talking about Judgment, the game with the private eye that's based in the mafia, the Yakuza world? Because that I like. But if or this is just a is that's the sequel, doesn't it? Or can't remember. Okay, Chris Monster. Hey, somebody says hi. Thoughts on Last Ronin? Uh, Loving it. Loving the Turtles. Uh, that series. Indeed. I called who the turtle was. I knew that was gonna be. I don't want to spoil it, but I knew it was him. I'm like, yep, and I'm really liking it. Have you ever read the Invincible comics? If so, what do you think? I've read them. I've read them a long when they were even before the I've read the Invincible stuff. I read those comics way before they even got had a show. So everything that's going on in Invincible, I'm like, yeah, I'm just waiting for it to happen. You know, it was bloodier. It was bloody then, and it's bloody now. But it's still good. All for all those who don't know, Mark does get a little brother. He has a little brother later on. Mm, he gets a new costume later on. Um, I wish they were able to do the crossover between him and Spider Man when he crossed over into the Marvel universe. That was great. So, isn't Wanda a mutant? Nope, not anymore. She hasn't been her and Quicksilver haven't been mutants since the late 2000s. After they made their debut in um, Avengers, Age of Ultron, they Marvel and them went to work. The comics they went to work and retcon their origin. I'm saying they're not the children of Magneto. The only child Magneto has is Lorna Dane, aka Polaris. They are the experiments of the High Evolutionary. That's why they have the powers. And they did that because of Sony. And it's like, oh, see, and I was always told that the comics would not be affected by the movies, and that's the problem. And I was like, yeah, but no, she's not a mutant, and she's dead now in the comics. Uh, Again, the last person to see her is Magneto. She had a wonderful talk with Magneto, and all of a sudden she's dead. And then that's when they were just like, Wolverine was like, where's Magneto? That's why they're doing this trial of Magneto. Did he kill her or what? What do you think about uh, what do you think of the Tino Huron as casting? I don't think it's happening, and because they haven't said anything on it. If they were really casting him as Namor, that would be a big deal. It's not. Michelle Cole has been casted for Black Panther 2. What role do you think she could play? Storm? Nope. Ain't no way they bringing her in the Storm. They're not bringing no mutants, especially familiar X-Men, until they're not doing it. She is playing another character. Ain't no way she's playing Storm. If she is, then they better hide that quick because she's not playing Storm. A little bit of a lag there, but we're back. Okay. It was a lag? Oh, okay. Are you a fan of the author Stephen King? Who isn't a Stephen King fan? I mean, even if you haven't read his books, the man has so many uh, film adaptations out. You cannot but love him. And his son is a good writer too. Thank you. Stay safe. You too. I'm still mad at Zack Snyder for killing Dick Grayson instead of Jason. I see. They keep saying that that's Dick Grayson that um that died. I don't buy that either, because once again, I'm not even gonna go it, because it's supposed to be the Joker killed Jason, not, and that's my biggest issue, that the amount of crap that Robin has to go through. It's ridiculous. Favorite Ninja Turtle, mine is Michelangelo, Cowabunga dude. That would be mine too. Mikey is my favorite, um, and it's not just his carefree attitude. It's probably because he most of it is because of he wields nunchucks, and I've always loved nunchucks. Uh, but he is, to me, Mikey is the glue. Is one of the glue. Like, he's the one. Since he is the youngest of the brothers, he's the glue that keeps them all together. Like, because we've seen like what happens if he died. Like, there've been stories that showed, like, if he died, yeah, like the turtles kind of flip out, or they go down a dark path. Favorite Kanye album. I probably would say his first. What it was, that College Dropout, I think. Or was it a second? I can't remember. What are your thoughts? What was your reaction when the Hulk got sent into space by Tony and them? I was a little upset. I was upset because it was like to me, it's like, wait a minute, Tony, like, who died and made you, like, y'all do that, like, oh, he can't stay, but it's just weird. I know Tony, Reid, and Black Bolt, the Illuminati. Professor Xavier wasn't there. That's the Illuminati. So I was a little peed over at that. Any particular actress for your favorite Southern Belle Rogue? Um, One, if if they were going a little older, I always said Jamie Presley, Jamie Lee Presley, because she has that Southern twang and you hear it. And she aging, like, you're like, wait, she how old is she? And you like, what? Um, the biggest thing is you finding an actress that can pull off that Mississippi accent. Yeah, people don't realize. Yes, she's from Mississippi. She's not from like Atlanta. I heard somebody say that to me once. Yeah, she's from Georgia. I'm like, she's not from Georgia. She's from Mississippi. But you know, to me, I want to see a Rogue. I want to see Rogue of the '90s now be brought in. Like, she understands what she has and the power as but she still loves life and is not always like, oh, I wish, oh, woe is me. That was my biggest issue with the when Fox had control of Rogue, like, just constant, like, oh, woe is me. And I get it, but it's also like she also has to look at the brighter side of it. Like, you're alive, you ain't dead, you know, and somebody does love you. Um, uh, did you watch? Did you watch some episodes of the TV show A Different World? Because that show is blowing with black excellence. I watched all them shows. All those, that was a spinoff of the Cosby Show, so I'm not shocked at how good that show was. Um, Different World was great. Dwayne and Whitley and You know, that's where Cree Summers. That's the first time I actually saw Cree Summers, who was going on to be a mega voice actor now. So it was a good show. Dawn Lewis on that show, Sinbad on that show. It was based around the fictional college Hillman that we saw in the Cosby Show. So it was a good spinoff, and because it was a spinoff, and also that's where I first saw Marissa Tomei. Marissa Tomei was on that show. Yes, she was Denise's roommate, because the show was supposed to be centered around Denise at her time at college. For those who don't know, who Denise is, played by Lisa Bonet, who is now married to Jason Momoa. And Jason Momoa has I love when he brings that up. Like, people asking like, when did you meet Lisa Bonet or everything? He said, I was watching the Cosby Show and I said, oh, I'm married that girl. And what happened? Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz, they got divorced, and pop, later on they got together. So props to Jason Momoa. He got his girl. He got the girl. Isn't that kind of cool? Like, you could say, you look at somebody, or I'm gonna marry that girl. It happened. Do you like British comedy shows? Don't watch too much British I mean, I've seen some, but I haven't watched a lot. You know, uh, does Mr. Bean count? Because there's one. I love Mr. Bean, so I'll throw that up in there. What are your thoughts on the new Candyman movie, have having multiple Candyman instead of one? I'm fine with it. It is Tony Todd is still in it, so great to see the homie Tony Todd. Tony Todd, man. Um, I'm I'm looking forward to this. Because to me it's not a reboot. It's basically a sequel, or a of the original. What do you what do you what do you hope they do with the character of Clint Barton in Hawkeye? Well, first of all, showcase that he's deaf. He lost. He's technically deaf, and I think they did show like he had a hearing aid. I'm like, that's supposed to be true. Um, they also say this show is gonna showcase how his time as Ronin more. So that means he did, and a relationship between him. It has a date, November. That's when it's gonna come out. It's following Matt Fraction's run of it, so that's cool. Could Cobra Commander get an origin film? I know. I don't care. I don't really want to watch a movie on an origin of especially Cobra Commander. I no. Zack Snyder confirmed that Dick Grayson was who he killed. I don't care. I really don't. I read his Misery novel, left me with an impression of a book had never left me before. Quit Quite a rush, I can tell you. I love Stephen King. Yeah, Stephen King, you know, does good work, and some of the works he was doing, he was pretty much almost a full blown alcoholic. That many times it's like he's going on record to say some of the things he wrote, he was like heavily drinking, and he's just like, yeah, I wrote that when I was completely heavily an alcoholic. Um, whether it's Carrie or whatever. But yeah, he's like one of the few novelists whose works are constant. That most of his works are turned into films, and it's like not like you don't see like another one. Another one of my favorite writers is James Patterson. but you don't see a lot of his works turned into TV series or movies. You don't. Favorite Ninja Turtle villain other than Shredder? Karai. There you go. And another time I say Wendy Richter. Wendy Richter. Wendy Richter as Rogue. Okay, I get it. Three favorite 90 hip hop artists. Uh, well, I'll leave out Biggie and all of them because those are too easy to go to. Um, I should leave out Nas because that's one of my favorite. I love Nas. I love DMX. Gotta throw X up in there. Um, Jada. Jada Kiss, definitely. Um, and throw Kim up in there. Yeah. She was from the 90s. Big in the 90s. Yeah. Sorry, Chris, had to rewind a bit. Yeah, I agree. What you said, Mikey. Yeah, okay. What if Beavis and Butthead were mutants and oh my god. What if Beavis and Butthead were mutants and they joined the X-Men? Um, they get kicked. I don't know. I wouldn't say they get kicked out, but they would not be really loved. Probably want to kill something like. Did you like Jason Aaron's She-Hulk design? Yeah, I don't mind it. Like I said, I don't mind that she's kind of bigger now, but because she's now tapping into her full gamma power now and everything like that. It's not like she's, you know, and now she's going through this whole thing with she's gonna become the Winter Hulk because she gets kidnapped by the Winter Guard and they take her to the Red Room and do all this crap to her. And I was like, oh Jesus. Wasn't it weird to hear Kevin Conroy voicing Merman? Not really. I just felt like he should have. Not really. I just felt like he should have done more of someone who is from the sea. Go back, watch Merman and all the other different versions. Merman always had like that gargling, and I missed that. When I heard him speak, I'm like, "Where's the gargle? Where's the gurgle? Where's the?" I wanted that from Merman, like almost like he always has water in his throat. I didn't mind that, but it wasn't weird because Kevin Conroy has voiced characters outside of just Batman. But of course, that's what people just know him more. I hope Aquaman 2 does not get bogged down by the scandal of Amber Heard, and do you think it could affect? The producers have already said they're not letting the fans dictate the like saying like get rid of her, get rid of her, get rid of her. You know, but in my opinion, they should. Y'all, Warner Brothers should. Y'all told him, told Johnny Depp to relinquish your role in the Harry Potter prequels. Why not her? The double standard is so real and bull. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean is British. So I definitely did. Hello, hey, hey, Cray. What's up, girl? Um, are you going to watch the Amazon's Lord of the Rings TV show? I might take a look at it. Believe it or not, guys, I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan. I'm not. I really, I like that kind of. I like fantasy, and I'm a huge Legolas fan, and most of that is because of one. It's got archery. I love archery, and he's a elf, But outside of that, uh, who would who would you cast as X-23? Uh, for the longest time, I wanted uh oh God, what was her name? She was in um Jesus. Um oh geez, what was her name? Uh oh I can't remember her name. What was her name? Um nah, come on, man. I can't remember. I forget her name. Uh Summer Glau. For a long time I wanted Summer Glau to be X-23. Um but now, depending on which to me, I think they need to they I think now if they do recast uh her, if they bring Lorna back in, you know, they probably will recast her. Uh Daphne Keene, who plays her, she's how old is she now? When was she born? 2005. So she's like she's 16 now. Yeah, like 16. She's 16. Yeah. Um, but I definitely want, I would definitely if they might recast her and doing that because well, because probably Kevin Feige probably doesn't want anything from Fox to be attached to the newer version. So if they do recast her, I wouldn't be upset about it. But for a long time, yeah, Summer Glau was a was an actress I always wanted to play X-23, and there was many like fan made trailers of her as Lorna. Now Wolverine, that's what I gotta call it. What other name would you give X-23 instead of Wolverine? Wild Child. Uh, I won't say Feral because I was gonna say Feral. Uh, I can't. Wolverine is definitely it. That's all I can think of. I can buy that. Cujo was famous, yet still a classic. Yet love Beavis has almost sorry, but I'm there not for everyone. Beavis and Butter would get everyone killed, pretty much. Uh, who will? Who would you cast as Guts? Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, if I was doing, if I was a casting for a Guts movie, Berserk, the who plays Gatsu. There's a couple actors, but definitely one of them would. That's where I would definitely think about Tom Hardy playing Gatsu. He's definitely up there. Can't wait to see you at the next Meg. Not going to Megacon this year. I just don't have the time, and there's kind of some important things to take care of. I'll try to, hopefully, when everything settles down, I'll try to get there another time. I had already planned, like, I already said to myself, like, I probably won't go to any conventions this year because of the pandemic. And, I'm still wary of, New York Comic Con. Is it going to happen? If it does, will I go? I might go. That'll probably be the only one I do go to. Uh, but I'll try to get there another time, because I thought MegaCon was great. My first experience at MegaCon was great 2 years ago. It was lovely. I spoke to a lot of cosplayers and I loved it. But the next time I do something like that, you know, it wasn't my first time. It was my first time in Orlando, so it was great. I think people tend to think that, you know, even though we live in the States, we just go everywhere. No, it's not the case. We talk about Beavis and Butthead, but what if Daria was an X-Men? I feel like she'd get along with Rogue, maybe, maybe, probably. She'd more be kind of like, I think, more approachable. What would it be her mutant powers? That'd be funny. What kind of jokes do you think Spider-Man would say to Skeletor that would really upset him? Anything. His ego's right up there. You could just get him. Why is Riverdale written so bad? Because it's just they're going on the teen angst. Because even what Riverdale is following, Mark Wade's run of Archie is way better. You want to read good writing? Go read what it's based off of. J.K. Simmons will be back as Jim Gordon in the Batgirl movie. Does that mean Barbara will be adopted like in the comics in her debut? Um, I heard he said he's coming back. I didn't hear him. I never heard. I didn't hear they said the Barbara ever being adopted. She was always Jim Gordon's daughter. She has two daughters, two children. Excuse me, Barbara Gordon and James Jr. I'll never ever remember her being adopted. Hey, what's up, Chris? How's you doing? Hey, what's up, Devin? I got a question for you. What's your opinion on Peter David's Hulk run? I finished, and finally, I finally finished collecting all the issues. Finally, live and all that. That's great. Uh, Peter David's Hulk run is critically acclaimed for what we got. He took a very deep dive into the aspects of the Emerald Giant, known as the Hulk. For example, why is he so angry? Where does that come from? Does that stem from something? And Peter David did that. That it comes from the abuse that Bruce Banner went through as a kid. It was great. I love Peter David. That's one run that I always tell people. You want to read a good Hulk run, read Peter David's run. It's great. I'm a huge Peter David fan as well. I stopped watching Riverdale after a season or two. I was really into the spinoff, but can't or canceled it. Greetings, Exalted One. What's up, Mister McLangland? Uh, in my opinion, Daria should have had a BB spinoff show. Never got it. Never got into it. Never liked it. Her indifference and death stare looked always pissed me off. You don't think they should have gave her thoughts, Chris? I watched the show. I watched Daria. I love the opening. It still cracks me up to this day. La, la, la. This is my life. That stuff's funny. I knew the funniest thing is I think we all knew a girl like that in school or somewhere. Like, and I knew I had a few Darias when I was going to school. Yeah, it was like they just was like to themselves or kind of had like this. They look at you and you're like, can you stop looking at me like that? Like, yeah, I really like Mark Hamill and Skeletor. Yeah, I mean, I like Mark Hamill is Mark Hamill, and that's that was the one thing that brought him onto the show. Like he get to voice Skeletor. Apparently, in the Shang-Chi movie, Wenwu will be a mix of Mandarin and wait, of course, yeah, the Mandarin is going to be a mix of his dad and well, you don't call him Fu Manchu anymore. You call him under his real name because that was just the alias. That's fine. Um, but we're still getting the real Mandarin, so that's fine. That's great. The 10 rings look like armbands, don't they? It's fine. They're fine. I got no issue with how they're being used. The problem is that if they start saying that they're alien tech, then we're talking Makino, which is the same race that Bing Bang Boom is. Uh, have you been paying attention to the Olympics? Been paying attention, haven't been watching it lately. Um, I'm considering reading Frank Miller's run for Daredevil. Do you think I recommend it? Yes, I do. Uh, Born Again, all that stuff. Yeah, Frank Miller's. To me, Frank Miller's run of Daredevil really rejuvenated Daredevil, which is really needed. And more importantly, to me, it's actually better than Dark Knight. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I see Oreos in the background. Are those original or another flavor? Oh, those are monsters. No, they're limited edition. Uh, Salted caramel brownie. I have, yeah. So yeah, yeah. I tried different Oreos. I got s'mores in my kitchen right now. This is a limited edition. Daria will catch beat down in real life. Catch a beat down in real life. Maybe she would, but I think people would be a little scared to go near because just how just like she don't show no real emotion. When you could psych people out like that, like you can already win a fight by just psyching somebody out because they don't know. Okay, is she gonna do something? Yeah. Apparently, for the MCU TV, Kamala Khan might not become an inhuman, but with will use magic for. That's not happening. Where you don't where your sources? Give me sources for that because so far you cannot magic cannot be a part of that. She is inhuman. That's the don't screw with that. Don't screw her origin. You can never go wrong with Mark Hamill. He's the voice actor version of the great Lon Chaney. Same thing. Like to me, you got it's like Tara Strong. A lot of people call her the queen of voice actor, I I agree with them because she the way she can flip a character on a dime, like it just she looks at that character. Oh, okay, this is she'll figure out the voice, but yeah. Um, are you going to watch the Daria spinoff, Joni, and with Tracy Ellis Ross? There's a spinoff coming. What? I might check it out because I am a Tracy Ellis Ross fan. Speaking of Daria intro, at your Standing on my neck. Yeah, you're standing on my neck. Yeah. Bill, I'd say the same with Grade. Yeah, and Jennifer Hale. Yeah, two actors who I want to meet. Um, I love Jennifer Hale. Like that's another one that I just whenever hear that voice, I'm like, that's Jennifer. I know that. You know, on the male side, Nolan North kills. Yeah, Nolan definitely is earned it. Uh, can't go wrong with Keith David. Phil Lamar. You know, but for me, when it comes to like Superman, I hear Tim Daly all day, all day. That's like even when I read Superman in comics, I hear his voice. I don't hear any other Superman voice coming out of from. Yep. Can I have some, please? uh, I haven't opened them yet. Don't sick, don't psych me off. Just piss me off. Well, I don't know because Monster may be pissed off if I give you those. Those are his. You gotta ask him, right? Uh, D. Bradley Baker. Yeah, yeah. He's another one. There's a couple of male. Even Josh Keaton. I think does a great job. But his voice is so distinct, like you can hear it, but it's good. Yuri Lawleth. I'm probably butchering his name. Apologize. But he's Spider-Man game, and of course he's famous for voicing Ben 10, older Ben 10. Uh, personally, I have little preference for children. Even Tim Daly is amazing. Did you? Who did? Who did voice you? Wait, what? You mean who did the voice for Kingpin? Um, that actor's name is oh shoot, his there's been a couple of actors, but the actor that you are talking about, well, I can show you a picture of him right there. That's him right there from the '90s. This is Royce Lee Brown. He passed away, but he's a just a veteran actor. He has this very regal like voice, but that was who voiced Kingpin in the '90s. Good man. Uh, we heard you. We heard who you would cast as Guts. Who? What about Griffith? If he was younger, I would say Orlando Bloom because I'm looking for a pretty boy to play that role, like a pretty boy, to play Griffith. Griffith is all pretty, a pretty boy. You need a pretty boy for that role. Um, yeah, I sometimes hear Tim Daly voice when I read Superman comics, but I would picture Christopher Reeves every time. I mean, yeah, that's of course, yeah. Christopher Reeves will always be, that Superman that was just he really loved playing that role. And I look at and that's the same way I look at Henry Cavill. He really played that character. He loved playing that character. And Warner Brothers DC did him fucking dirty. I'm sorry. I'm calling him out. Warner Brothers, y'all fucked up with that. Like y'all did Henry Cavill dirty. So in my opinion, and I said it before, and I'll say it again, Kevin Feige should be like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna find you a character to play, Cavill, just to suck it to DC. Like you're lost, our game, and I don't want him to play just a Superman clone. So everybody say, "Oh, the Sentry." No, because I don't want to hate him. I hate the Sentry. I don't want to hate him. If they say, "How about he plays Cyclops?" I'm down. I'll take him as Cyclops. There's a couple of characters I can see Henry Cavill playing. Yeah, Warner Brothers, y'all did him dirty. Uh, I just looked at D. Baker's performance in Clone Wars and Bad Batch, and just see just how much he can give his each clone voice a distinguishing tone. I want to. I went to a con some time ago and met the dub voice for uh, Darby and Tongo. Both were awesome. That's cool. That's cool. No, I was talking about Daria. About Daria. Her death stare angers me just because I got a lot of that in high school related. Okay, all right, yeah. Like, who would you cast as Kos Casca? Is that what you said? Is that what you said? Casca? Uh, um, uh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Would I don't. Oh man. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. I really don't know. All right. Let's see what. Oh, we good. We got a half an hour to go, guys. So we're good. Kick it with you guys for another half an hour. So let's do this. Okay. Okay. Who would who would you have cast as Trigon if they made a Teen Titans movie? Trigon. I would say Tom Ellis. He's definitely one of them. Yeah. Every time I read anything involving Dracula, I always picture Christopher Lee. Rest in peace. Uh, when it comes to Dracula, I don't really have a distinguished voice for him. I know people say I have friends that always say I hear just Bela Lugosi. No, there are other. What about Hyperion? Um, which version? Because there are different versions of him. Um, once again, I wouldn't mind, but I just don't want him playing just. He's just playing a version of Superman. I want him to be typecast like that. To me, let's say, in a sense, I'd say it, but like somebody always say, oh, he could play Brian Braddock, Captain Britain. He could, you know. Um, yeah, he could. Uh, Emma Heard as Emma Frost because there are a lot of like no, I don't want her anywhere near anything. Like really a shame that Israel Elba plays Bloodsport instead of Bronze Tiger. What do you think? Not really. To me, I would. I mean, Ezra Elba is he has practiced martial arts, but he's not a full blown martial artist. I want a full blown martial artist playing Ben Turner. Um, him playing Bloodsport is good for the character because a there's not a lot of people that know who that character is. So yeah, people think Morgan Freeman is the voice of everything. Personally, for me, Harvey Fernstein. Have you heard that dude's voice is fabulous? I think I have, or I don't think I have, but um, for me, if like they always do that meme. Who would you want voicing like your documentary? I always go with James Earl Jones, you know, or Keith David. You ever hear Keith David when he does documentary? Well, he's great. Oh, okay. Oh, you mean David? You mean that? Oh, really? You sound like a chain smoker? Nah. Yeah, I can't. Nah, like I was just watching Independence Day, and he was in it. Ma, he's like, David, why did I send my mom to my in Atlanta? I'm like, no, I can't. His voice just pissed me off. It wouldn't piss me. It was just like, okay, you gotta take up here. Here's a Lawson. Like, fix your voice. Like, out of all the Universal monsters, which one do you think is the most tragic of them all, and why? Uh, I guess I'll go Wolfman and Frankenstein monster. I mean, come on, they didn't ask for any of that stuff that happened to them. As much respect as I have for Bela Lugosi, I believe Christopher Lee was the best Dracula. Sorry for the blank, because I'm trying to remember, like, because when I watched as a kid watching Bela Lugosi as Dracula, it never scared me. I can honestly say Christopher Lee's Dracula scared me. Like he kind of scared me. Like the eyes. Oh Jesus, those eyes that he would that shit used to freak me out a little bit. Not on the same level as like fucking face huggers, but yeah, I used to get creeped out. So I can understand that. You know, I think yeah, you'd have a big issue with a couple of people, Bill. But yeah, I mean, like people be like, what? It'd be like you go to a Trek Star Trek convention, you say Jean-Luc Picard was a better captain than Kirk. I've seen fights happen for that, like legit. So yeah. Um, who would play Chapel? Who would play? Who would you? Who would play Chapel for both Spawn and Youngbloods? If they did it, if they did Chapel, um, uh, um, I would go with Mr. Hodge. Mr. Hodge, who's playing Hawkman. I could see him as Chapel. Uh, didn't say he wasn't awesome, but it's just like that voice alone. Just I couldn't take that too long. Uh, uh, I want Christopher Lee to voice me my life. Rest in peace, Christopher Lee. Without spoiling the movie, I can tell you You will love the Suicide Squad movie by James. I watched it. It was a blast. I have no doubt about that. It's getting rave reviews, and to me, what that proves is what many of us always said: the suits and the studios stay the fuck away from the movie and let the creator and writers do their thing. You get magic. When you start having studios throw their own echelons of, well, this should do this and that. Like, for example, I'm using an example. Sam Raimi never wanted to use Venom in Spider-Man 3. It was just going to be Sandman. But it was Sony, the pricks, that said, hey, put Venom in it. How'd that turn out? You jackasses. Any video games you can't wait to play in 2002? Um, Far Cry. Well, that's not coming out in 2002. Uh, there's a couple of stuff, but definitely Far Cry's up there, and Battlefield 2042. I think that's what it's called. Uh, yeah, those are a couple, but I don't think those are for next year. I could be wrong. I'll say are either the Wolfman, Frankenstein Monster, and the Phantom of the Opera. That's the other one I would throw in there. Yeah, but the Wolfman and Frankenstein Monster different. Yeah, dude, he's awesome. How do you not like him? I didn't say I don't like him. I just his voice just bothers me. Like when you do it too much, I'm like, oh Jesus. It's unique, one of the kind. Uh, David Attenborough. Okay, I get you now. The Dracula, the Dracula-like vampire. What scared me when I was a kid was Kurt Barlow from Stephen King's Salem Lot. Talk about eyes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I give you that too. That's yeah for sure. Just watched Blues Brothers yesterday. Man, that movie was awesome with lots of awesome performances in James Brown, Charles Ray Charles, Queen of. Yeah, good movie. Always a good movie. Blues Brothers is just a good movie. Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi. Yeah, I gotta remember that's one of the rest in peace. Are you ready for? Did you like the trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife? I did. Go watch my reaction. I did. The new trailer was great. And flipped me out when I saw that. Saw Annie Potts in there, and it is a passing of the torch. It really is. Ivan Reitman directed and helped write. He did the first two movies. Now his son is taking over. That's great. I'm looking forward to this movie. It looks like it's just gonna be fun. I feel that yes, it is. Those are Egon's grandchildren. But it's great to see like pictures of the old members, and all of them gonna come back, reprise their roles. So it's gonna be great. And but the question is really who's the villain? Is Gozer returning? Because the way it looks like Gozer's coming back, or somehow. But then that right there is the question: how? How is the Destructor returning? But we've seen either the gatekeeper or the keymaster. It's crazy. Um, I'd I'd also settle for Peter Cushing. As oh yeah. You got to. Uh, would you cast? Who would you cast as Jackie Estacada? The Darkness. Hmm. Is Jack? Wait? Is he Italian or? I don't think. Wait, is he Italian? Oh, hold on, I gotta check that out. Hmm. Um. Estacado or Est. I mean, because that's a what is the Estacado? That's a Spanish name, right? Or that Italian. I'm always I'm always wondering about that. Ever since I started reading the Dark, I was is that because he was in the mob, but you know, um, yeah, he's Italian. There you go. Okay, just need to make sure. Um, I mean, hmm, oh man, who would I get? That's tough. That's tough. I never even thought about that. Like, who would I get to play him? Ah, man, that's a tough one, Juan. But I would be cool if they. I'll always go with this. I'll always be cool with an unknown, like an unknown or someone who's got acting chops. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Ghost of Zombie director's cut and the new DLC for. Oh yeah, I'm definitely yeah. Look, well, for me, since I already have it, I don't think I'll get the director's cut. I'll just you don't really need it. Patty Jenkins had all to most people's eyes, maybe, but I think what messed it up, and I'm there's some things in there that just creep me out a little bit, but now because it's like some scenes in there that I'm like, Dana, you just raped this dude, like, but nobody's gonna look at it like that. There's only a few. I got a few friends that actually thought about it. I'm like, think about it. Yeah, like think about that. Like Slimer is supposed to be the spirit of John Belushi. I don't know. Um, what if Blade took the vampire? What, uh, what if Blade took the vampires from 38 Days of Night? You mean if he fought them? I still think he'd be all right. I gotta go, Chris. Take care. Shoot out your family and shout out to your family and Monster. Oh, thanks. David Aber, and here we see. Oh, yeah. Uh, yeah. Okay, we caught up on all the questions, Monster. Um, that looks like to be it. Uh, yeah, that is it. Okay. Well, that seemed to be. I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. First and foremost, thank you for coming through. I appreciate it as always. The pack continues to grow. Just like I said, I just saw uh, another 100 uh, subscribed. That's great. Bringing, I think, the total now to 11,502 pack members. Appreciate that very wholeheartedly. Uh, I will be back again, of course, with another, open mic. As always, I might do. We done August, so September will be again. But I do got one more Q&A planned for the month. I'll let y'all guys know. Um, And with that being said, guys, was there any other news I wanted to talk about? Oh, yes. Um, Shotgun Saturday Fright. Yes, guys. The next episode, I think it'll be episode 6. Uh, I'm gonna start now bringing your requests. So yes, if you requested me to watch one of the horror fan film that you know I will now I'm start adding them now. So yeah, there'll be a request. The requests are going to start uh, now. Once again, people ask me like, why are you doing these like reactions to these horror fan films? And, Shotgun Saturday Fright is homage and respect to Corey Kenshin. If y'all know who Corey Kenshin is, if you don't, he's a YouTuber and he's just a real cool dude. But he said once he reached a certain amount of people, he was going to basically retire from YouTube, and I think he's doing it. And he used to do something on there too, where he would watch shorts, uh, horror shorts. He would do 4. Right now, I'm only doing 2, but and people would give him stuff to talk and to watch, and so I was like, oh, I'll keep it going for him, uh, even though we've never met. But I was always a big. I enjoyed his work. He's worked with my boy Dashi a couple of times, and he represents Michigan. So respect out there to Michigan. I think he's in the suburbs of Detroit. So respect as always to Motown, and yeah. So that's why I do Shotgun Saturday Fright. But with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it very much. Your Alpha loves you. Y'all take care, be safe, and deuces.